Hello everyone, we are Team Just12. Our members are Jana, Sean, Stone, Melissa, and myself, Shannon.
Think about the times you may have gone to an event on campus and there was catered food. Did you finish all your food? Was there food left over at the end? Did it get thrown out, or were people given a chance to take it with them? Food loss and the subcomponent of food waste is really coming into the spotlight in the United States, and we were able to find evidence of the issue here in our local University of Maryland community. The Economic Research Service defines food loss as the amount of food available for human consumption that is not consumed for any reason. Food waste, which is the real issue we are trying to confront, includes edible food discarded by retailers and plate waste thrown away by consumers. 30% of food available for consumption is lost according to estimates, and to quantify that, it's about 1.18 pounds of food per person per day at a retail value of $1.43. Here on campus, we try to see what we could do to solve that problem on a small scale with Good Tidings catering service. Shannon works for them and witnessed this issue firsthand, and we were able to get great access to managers within the organization because of this. Let's take a look at what we learned through defining the problem and searching for solutions.
The current food disposal situation at Good Tidings is the following. In fall 2010, members from the Food Recovery Network reached out to Good Tidings Catering, where they have formed a partnership. Both organizations recognize there is a current problem and have worked hard to find ways to mitigate food waste. This partnership allows for Food Recovery Network to come twice a week. Despite the efforts of Good Tidings and the Food Recovery Network, waste was still very prevalent. While working at events, I was able to see firsthand the unfortunate realization of just how much food gets uneaten and thrown away. Based on what Sean mentioned earlier, I had many experiences with Good Tidings and watching how much food they wasted. For example, at the end of working a basketball event, we had to throw away uneaten hot dogs, buns, chicken wings, and etc. after the end of each game. Based on the amount of food waste noticed at Good Tidings Catering, the problem we saw was that Good Tidings should have made greater efforts to mitigate excess food.
So as a way to solve this initial problem, we came up with the following solutions. First, we think food recovery should come collect the food more often rather than just twice a week in order to increase the amount of food that is salvageable. Our other solution is for food recovery to use campus groups to send a leftover food somewhere such as homeless shelters or food banks on campus, instead of just throwing it out and wasting the food. In order to see if these solutions are viable, we have conducted interviews with Good Tidings catering managers Bernard Schillen and Ashley Triplett, and Service Vice President Emily Camardo of Alpha Phi Omega, as well as developed a survey.
First, we had the opportunity to interview one of the Good Tidings managers, Bernard Schillen. Bernard began to explain that, of course, them as managers have their ideal situations of what could happen with the food. But because of the centralized structure, the managers are restricted on what they can give away by the rules and regulations sanctioned by the FDA and the top-level managers, which they must abide by. Another reason why majority food has to be composted or thrown away is because Good Tidings can be held liable for any food-related illnesses that occur from being taken out of the event. In following this topic, we had another opportunity to interview with Ashley Triplett, student manager at Good Tidings Catering. Ashley explained anything opened automatically cannot be donated for anyone outside of the event to eat. When anything in the kitchen is cooked, it is automatically wrapped and sealed. Once the seal is broken, regardless of how much food is left, they by law cannot donate that food to food recovery.
After interviewing with the Service Vice President Emily Camardo of Alpha Phi Omega, she mentioned that we will always have people who are willing to help distribute excess food, but the true problem is that there's too much excess food to begin with. She further told me that in her home state, Vermont, they are taught about how to reduce food waste from the start in elementary school and how important it is to be aware. We also conducted a survey of current students at University of Maryland regarding their thoughts about food waste on campus. Our results concluded that people were aware about food waste and believed that it was a problem. They believed that the best possible solution would be to distribute excess food to homeless shelters in D.C., but that's already being done. A few responders did have the idea that we should raise awareness about how much food waste there actually is.
After completing our research and interviews, we realized that as a group we had a perceived bias by looking at the problem as only Good Tidings' fault, but failed to look at the bigger picture. The actual problem is that Good Tidings is preparing too much food to begin with because clubs and organizations are over-ordering food for their events. We believe the problem stems from the lack of knowledge and understanding of how excess food waste can be prevented altogether from the start.
According to the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, simply making university students aware of the topic of food waste may improve both their behaviors and the sustainability of food service facilities. This scholarly article supports that Good Tidings Catering should do a better job to increase awareness. In that sense, some things that Good Tidings Catering could do to increase awareness are a disclaimer on their website and order forms about how much food goes to waste, recommend amounts of food per party depending on the number of people, and encourage clubs and groups to implement a strong RSVP system. The best way to go about making this change to increase awareness is by using Lewin's 3-step change model. First, the unfreezing step is acknowledging that there is a problem. Currently, there is a negative group conformity and we need to change thinking to less is more to create less food waste. For the movement step, we want to help the problem before it starts. And lastly, for the refreezing step, we want to make it the standard that everyone is aware of the problem and does their part to alleviate the amount of food waste initially. We believe with transformational leadership, a group of people need to initiate a movement to not only inform, but to inspire the public to be more aware of the issue of food waste.
As is evidenced by the results of our research, there are limits to how much food loss the United States could realistically prevent, recover, or distribute to people in need. Legal liability and strict food safety rules inhibit the ability to easily solve these problems. In order for a solution on a national level, substantial reductions in food loss would require a mixture of public and private sector approaches. Our goal is to raise awareness about this issue so that everyone might manage their food a little better. Consumers contribute to the issue when they order more than they need and choose to throw out the extras. A campaign was launched in the UK, and 5 years after a nationwide effort, household food and drink waste was reduced by 15%. Let's replicate that effort here. Next time you order, take the small steps and eat what you order. Reduce your waste, and we can help companies like Good Tidings to mitigate their losses. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.